Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode in this podcast called The Spiritual Relationships. My name is Ken Hanneman, and this is my wife, Dr. Ann O'Hare. And the topic today is understanding the heart. When we speak of the heart, we are referring to your emotional center. And I would also like to say that it is the core of your being from which you're in touch with your spiritual values. Living from the heart, it is, uh, it's like you're living, um, you're in touch with authenticity, you're in touch with your truth. People would say things like the heart guides you, that you are living in a way that it's not only for your own upliftment, it is also about getting in touch with other people. So, with that, I would like to ask Anne to maybe share her understanding of what it is like to live from the heart.
Yeah. Um, my background was in kind of a externally focused lifestyle. So everything was always about what am I going to do? Are you excited about this? Are you excited about that? So growing up in that kind of an environment, like it's always externalized. What are you going to do? When are you going to go to school? When are you going to get married? What are you doing? Everything was always externalized. So the thought of living from the heart was like not even on the agenda
Yeah,
at
that's it.
all.
Yeah.
It was all about what I could produce on the outside. Having said that, my experience of living from the heart or what the heart means is it means me. It's my again, authentic, meaning that I am validating that it's me. Authentic means that it's me validating that it's me. That's what it
Right.
means.
Yeah.
Authentic, like I am the authority over what I'm sharing. It's I
People might say being true to yourself.
exactly
Yeah.
true to yourself. So my heart means that I am aware of, paying attention to, and kind of a friend of.
Yeah.
Like I'm behind myself or I'm validating myself. I'm trusting myself. I'm so the heart is the core of the self, I would say. The core feelings, the core thoughts, the closest that we have to the absolute truth of the self, I would
Yeah.
say. And so that heart actually knows things, right? Like it just
Yeah.
knows. Like it's
Right.
weird. It doesn't
Uh,
need to be taught anything. It
yeah.
knows it. And you said something interesting, and I'll let you go back to you, but you said something that when you get in touch with your own heart, you start getting in touch with others. So it's almost like when you say the heart, you're talking about yourself, but you're also talking about getting in touch with a level of awareness that
Mhm.
others are in too, because I
Yeah.
can understand somebody else too if I'm at that level of awareness.
Right. And I'm looking at my life, and in the beginning, growing up as a child, teenager, I was pulled towards religion and study of scriptures. It seems as if that was a calling that I had. Anyhow, like you just mentioned, school, going to college, getting a job, trying to excel at that job,
Then
um,
raising a family.
raising a family,
Yeah.
trying to accumulate a lot of wealth or
Mhm.
as much as you can get. The drive to do that, and also to please or to have the kind of personality that will make you successful in the world was good. There's something you achieve from that, but there was always something deep down crying out for attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would like to say that will be your heart, because now, as I get to, get past that materialistic uh, adventure in life, I find myself now getting pulled right back to trying to understand what the soul is, how what is the mind, what is it that I truly want? Did I was I really happy, and do I truly have love or compassion? Is there potential within me for a better personality, being someone that is helpful in the community? Because these are the calling that I have. This is everybody have might have their own desires, you know. In a relationship with you have a wife or your family, everybody would also have their calling or
Their
uh,
own feelings and their own
mm,
hopes and dreams and right
mm.
their own
Like say
aims.
you
Yeah.
would say that you would always that you used to live your life in a way to please other people,
Yes.
but then was there a difference? Is there something else that you need rather than pleasing them?
I don't I don't think I was in touch with my feelings or needs at all. I was like you were just describing the drive to achieve. There's also the drive to please. So you
Yeah,
can have the drive to please or the drive to get along or the drive to be a good wife, good daughter, good whatever. We could call this ego. We could call this what is it? What do they call it? Like
mm,
programming. It's all fine because we all have to have it to function, right?
yeah,
But the heart exists independent of that. It actually exists independent of all of that. Like it knows, like you were saying, even though all of that was going on, something was not right.
yeah,
There was
yeah.
something that
Something,
wasn't, so something independent of all that was trying to speak.
yeah,
So what is that thing? We're calling it understanding the heart. So what is it? I mean, does it mean that when I start paying attention to my heart that I forget to go to my work and I forget the relate?
no,
No, it actually brings in the missing piece, I'm going to say. It's
yeah,
like the missing piece. Now you're incorporating, now you're bringing your true self into the mix.
yeah. Um, you know, like on the job, I we were really driven to excel in that and to be pretty good at what you do and things like that. But you go home and suddenly you're feeling, geez, this is tiring. You know, I don't feel like I'm a better person in a way. Yes, I you get a good salary and things like that, but are you truly in touch with your heart? Are you ignoring it, or are you doing something to pay attention to it? Let it feel like you that it's not being ignored.
Could it be that sometimes maybe people feel like I don't want to pay attention to myself because all of this other stuff is so important?
Yeah,
But why can't they both be important?
yeah, right.
Why can't they both be important? Why can't I bring my feelings into the mix? Here's the thing, create a safe environment where you can do that.
Yeah.
That's what I found is that if when I started, first of all, being in a relationship with you, very, very safe, very,
Mm,
very safe, like totally safe. First time in my life, totally safe. You're not going to judge me. You're not going to take advantage of my weaknesses. You're not going to try to overpower me. You're in control of yourself. You're or trying all the time, right? It's always a work in progress. But if the person's taking responsibility for themselves and they're not abusing you, that's a safe environment.
right.
So safety, when you get a safe environment, you could start trying to get in touch with that part
Mm,
that maybe wasn't being paid attention to.
yeah. And the underlying spiritual principle is that for you to be sure that you are in touch with your heart, like you're understanding it or you're living from there, is to at least make a difference in somebody else's life. It doesn't have to be a whole big group of people. It can just be one, two
Mhm.
in your family. That if you can ensure that that person is a better person and that there's something in your heart that tells you the truth, like I said before. And if you know what is true, what is truly making you happy, truly really making your self worth or self actualization, whatever word you want to use, you start feeling better about yourself. When you know what makes you feel better, and then you can listen to someone else so you can figure out what can I do? And there is always a way to understand, or you can
Because
even
then you
ask the
start to
person.
care. You start to care for them. Like
Yeah,
that's like real caring.
yeah. And that goes against probably the values of the world, where
Mm,
everybody is trying to get ahead, even though it means stepping over other people,
mm.
or maybe ignoring the feelings or the heart of another person.
Or you're
Mm,
repressing your own feelings so that you can still do the outside stuff.
yeah, it's there's nothing good about enslaving another person to your wishes and desire. Somewhere along the line, I know how life is challenging, and I know how things can take a toll, you know, but at some point, there need to be, maybe relax that a little bit. Think about the one right next to you, the one that has been struggling with you to achieve a certain level of, let's say, financial security or whatever. But at some point, there has to be, what is it that you dreamed about when you were a child?
Mm,
And is there some way that we could help each other
mm.
on that thing? And I feel like if you do that, that is what everybody wants out of a relationship.
Such a powerful thing. We're moving into like something else here where like when you're in a relationship, like we were talking about our relationship is a marriage, okay, but we're
Mm,
also friends and we're also on a spiritual path, like a serious spiritual path, and we're on the same one. So one thing I can offer is that a kind of a close relationship like this can be immensely helpful, and it amplifies your own self and you're helping the other person. And
mm,
I'm going to say maybe we can close after this, but I want to
mm,
say that what Ken was just sharing, I can hear that it's coming from the male perspective. Like I can hear
mm.
it, right? You can hear that it's coming from the male perspective. Like make sure you're helping someone else.
Yeah,
Don't make it all about you. Make sure you're
it
helping
does.
someone else.
Because only then your intellect is absolutely sure, yes, this actually works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see it actually making a difference in someone else.
And I want to say for women, it
Mm,
works like this: you have to love and trust and
mm,
honor yourself. For women, it's different.
yeah, like
It's like we're always taking care of everybody else.
yeah,
Like that's the natural thing. But we have to learn how to be happy, how to be peaceful, how to be content. Who am I? Can I take care of myself? Like it's all about the self for the women. But
mhm,
I'll tell you, but that's okay for the men, right?
yeah,
It's okay. Men don't mind if you take care of yourself. They want you to
mm,
take care of yourself, right? Because
right,
then they're getting the benefit of that too.
right in the
So
relationship.
it's a little bit different from the male and female. So if I'm not taking care of myself, it's
Mm.
not good karma. And if on the male side, if you're not helping other people, it's not good karma.
Yeah,
So, but what's so beautiful is that it actually does work together.
yeah,
It does work together. If each side is trying to take care of themselves and be aware of others, and that's living from the heart, I would say too.
yeah.
Like it's authentic. You're living like you're living real.
And in my relationship with God, it, God doesn't necessarily have to be from
From a religion.
from a religion.
Mm.
To me, God means a being that loves me fully. He knows me and loves me in such a way that all his only desire is for me to feel good about myself, for me to live from the heart in a way that it can make the difference in other people's lives. He doesn't want anything else from me. So I have this kind of a relationship. I don't ask for anything physical. I just want to be a better person.
Yeah.
And I kind of love him for that, because somehow this relationship, it's more about, I can only know what is love if I experience it for myself first, and then God. And when I begin to understand the power in love, how his love transformed me, and how my love for myself transformed me, and,
Hmm.
so I really don't think it's so much about loving and following blindly anything. It's more about understanding the power of love,
Mm.
and from that other virtues. And that is what is meant by spirituality.
And it's also the heart.
And it's also
It's
the
also
heart.
coming from the heart. Wonderful. Okay, so let's leave it there. And hopefully, this gave you a little something to think about maybe taking a look at, am I aware of my own thoughts and feelings?
Mhm.
What is my relationship with God? Or do I have a religious practice? Do I have a spiritual practice? Because that's one thought came just last thing you said. God is in touch with our heart. There's a word in Hinduism, Dilaram, which means the comforter of hearts.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one of the titles that God has is that He is the comforter of hearts. And if you do believe in God or you do believe in the higher power or something, it's a very individual, unique, very intimate kind of experience. So that
Mm.
also touches the heart.
Mm.
Wonderful. So
Beautiful.
let's
Yeah.
end there. And until
Mm.
next time, thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.